In section 1.3, we talked about how to simplify exponents if you're multiplying bases that are the same. The rules say that if there are coefficients, and coefficients are numbers that come in front of letters, for example, this 3 and that 7, those are coefficients. If they're coefficients, you want to multiply them. If they're exponents, which are the small number, you want to add them. Okay, if a letter does not have an exponent, then it's an imaginary 1. So if we look at example 1, my bases are the same and the problem's being multiplied. And so in my work, my base stays the same and my exponents get added. And if you look here, my exponents are an 8 and then my exponent is an invisible 1. So that's going to be, my work is 2k to the 8 plus 1. Okay. Now, once you have your work, you want to simplify that. The k stays the same. 8 plus 1 gives you 9, and that problem is simplified to its fullest. If you look at example number 2, my bases are the same and they're being multiplied together. So my base stays as a t, and in my work I want to take those exponents, and my rule says that I can add them together. T to the 7 plus 6 gives me t to the 13th power, because 7 plus 6 gives me 13. If you look at example 3, you're going to notice that I have coefficients, those big numbers that are in front of a letter. If you have coefficients, you want to bring them out in front because those get multiplied together. So 2 times 5 are my coefficients. Once I deal with those, I go to my variable and I have a w. My exponents are 2 plus 2, which then will simplify the problem and give me 2 times 5, which is 10. W drops over. 2 plus 2 gives you 4. Okay. If you look at example number 4, my coefficients are 3 and 7. So I know that I multiply coefficients. That's what my rule says. And then I take my variable that's the same, and I'm going to add those exponents. So that becomes e to the 3 plus 3. And once you have your work down, you can simplify. 3 times 7 is 21. E gets dropped over. 3 plus 3 is 6. If you look at question number 5, my coefficients are a 4 and a negative 4. So I'm going to multiply those together first. And then I'm going to take my r's and I'm going to add their exponents. That's a 4 plus a 3. And now I can simplify. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Bring the r over. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay. Now if we look at number 6, okay, number 6, that's an L and that's an L. Those are not ones. So the first thing I want to do is take my coefficients, which are negative 3 and 2, and I'm going to multiply those together. Then I'm going to take my first letter, which is an L, and I'm going to take its exponents, which there's a 2 on top of this L, and there's an imaginary 1 on top of the second L. So it's going to be a 2 plus 1. And then I go to W, and I add its exponents, which are 3 plus 4. Okay. When you go ahead and simplify, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. L to the 2 plus 1, which gives me 3. W to the 3 plus 4, which gives me 7. And the last one I'm going to do is number 8. Number 8, I have a coefficient of negative 4 here, and I have a coefficient of a negative sign, but that's an invisible negative 1. So my coefficients are negative 4 times negative 1. And then I go to B and I say, okay, well, B's exponents are 6 plus 2. And then since there's only one C, it just drops down into my work. And then from there I can simplify. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. B to the 6 plus 2 gives me 8. C to the third power just drops down.